Hello, and today we're going to be looking at my 2006 Chrysler Town & Country. I'm going to be taking the oil out, changing that, but also I'm going to be working on this this oil pan, simply because I'm getting a low pressure oil warning light that keeps coming on at low idle, and I've changed the sensor, which, if you look right here, it's right there where that green connector is. That's the oil sensor. I've already changed that. That did not take care of the problem. So I'm going to inspect the oil pickup tube, which is under, or once you take off this oil pan, you'll see that. Before I can do that, though, I'm going to have to take off these 10mm bolts all around the oil pan. And also there's this little flange right here on the transmission with a little rubber gasket. Well, that is blocking the other bolts for the oil pan. So those this flange needs to come out. It's held there with a 18mm bolt, and then up there near the top, it looks like that's a 15, and then maybe another 18 in the corner there. So I'm going to have to slip this bracket. It's a bracket that holds the engine and the transmission. I have to slip that out in order to get this flange right here out of the way. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to get, like I said, 10mm bolts here, 5/8 drain plug, and go ahead and change the oil filter while I'm at it. And I'll pick back up once I get the oil pan all off and let you know how that goes. Okay, so I was able to remove those two 10mm bolts and also an 18mm bolt here to remove this dust shield, I guess is what it is, metal dust shield, which, as you can see, with that removed, now we have access to the up there to the oil pan bolts, the two on the side, the two 10mm on the side. Now it'll drop down. What I had to do is I had to loosen up. There's two 18mm bolts there. I loosened those up, and there's a 15 here. I did not loosen that up at all. And there's the bracket that mounts connects the engine to the transmission. And once I was able to do that, there was enough play to move this, to flex that, and move that shield out, slide that shield out from under there, and get to those last two bolts, those last two 10mm bolts. And I just wanted to show you, I have two bolts, one on each side, still in there. There are two studs on the flywheel side of the pan, same 10mm. So total there are 16 bolts and two studs for a total of 18 fasteners, all 10mm. All the 10mm bolts are exactly the same length, so you shouldn't need to worry about that. Again, there's two 10mm bolts that are separate for this dust shield you got to take out, then the 18mm bolt there. And I set that aside, and I'll show you what it looks like with the crankshaft and all once I take the oil pan off here. All right, well, there it is, the pickup tube, the oil pickup tube. It has a 13mm bolt that I started to loosen. I'm going to pull that out. It has this kit. It's a Felpro kit. I can put the link in there. I got it from Fisher Auto Supply. It came with a O-ring for the oil pickup tube and a nice gasket and some, looks like 4 holders that go in the bolt holes to line up the gasket. Pickup tube doesn't look all that blocked. We'll have to see what I can get out of it. A lot of oil's dumping out of it though as I was loosening that bolt. Again, this engine has almost 300,000 miles, and maybe not the cleanest you'd want to see, but that is the crankshaft and timing chain. Anyway, believe it or not, this oil only barely has 3,000 miles on it. Almost a year old though. I don't drive it that much, so it looks really dirty, but it's not that many miles. So yeah, there you go. Pretty messy. I'm gonna get this this tube out and check this out, see how it looks, and clean up this mating surface best I can. Looks like they might have had a little bit of RTV to hold the old gasket on in the corners there. There's the two studs coming out. So yeah, I'm gonna stop this video for now and get this tube out and inspect that and clean it out pretty good. Again, I'm trying to stop my oil light from coming on when it drops under 1,000 RPMs after it's warmed up. Otherwise it stays off. Just want to make sure it's not being starved for oil. It's not, definitely not low oil ever. So that's what's next. So I wanted to get a shot here. This is the oil pan all cleaned up. It did not look really bad. It was not full of a bunch of sludge and grime and grit. It was actually just used oil. I mean, I waited till it was time to change the oil before I took on this job. But it's all cleaned out now. There you can see the drain plug poking through there at the bottom. Here's the Fel-Pro gasket kit that I got, and it does come, like I said, with the O-ring for the pickup tube, oil pump pickup tube, and some little holders for the gasket as well. The old gasket had a steel inside, metal, surrounded by a rubber, and I'll show a shot of that before or a shot of the surface, the engine surface, before I put the other gasket back on. I'll show a shot of the pickup tube now. Here's a shot of the pickup tube. It was not all clogged up. I was hoping to see it be obvious, maybe why I'm getting this low oil pressure light. But I did clean this out. I wasn't sure what to use. Gas I used some carb and PCV cleaner and let it all dry out. Nothing's in it anymore. It's really clean now. I'm going to put that new green gasket on there where the old gasket was, the old O-ring. It was didn't look like it had really fully deteriorated after almost 300,000 miles, but I will replace it since it came with the kit. And yeah, I'll get a shot of the engine surface next before I mount the new gasket per instructions that came with this. So here we are, the surface. You can still see some markings on there. It's actually really smooth. I ran my finger across it. It did have some like RTV at just like two of the corners, and I got all that off without trying to mar the surface at all. But overall it looks like it's set and ready to cleaned off about as much as I'm going to do. Hopefully I'll never have to take this off again unless I mess it up this time and there's a massive leak. But hopefully this is the last time it ever has this this oil pan off of here. Like I said, this is the only time I've ever had this oil pan off. And there's I think those are bearing caps for the crankshaft bearings, and like I said, timing chain. Can't really see a whole lot there. Can't really see the pistons, see the bottoms of them, but can't really tell a whole lot. Anyway, there's the flywheel, like I said. I'm gonna get the gasket in place per instructions, and maybe I'll get a shot of that next. Alright, so there's the those little gasket keepers in the corners, the plastic ones. I have the oil return tube installed. I did torque it down to about 25 foot-pounds. That's what I found online, and it said about the same as the drain plug, but I was able to torque that. Anyway, it looks good. It's all ready to go. I'm ready to put the oil pan back in place. Like I said, got the new gasket on the return tube. It looks nice and clean now, and I'm going to go ahead and get that back in place. And I think you just tighten it cross pattern. Don't over tighten the bolts. And it is a nice metal gasket, made in the USA. It said, stamped on there. Felpro. Then I'm going to put that dust shield back in place and tighten those mounting bolts once the oil pan bolts are all tightened, and that should be it.